Cheers to the Tin Man. Rest in peace to the homie. Rest in peace. Hey, welcome back to another video here, Jedi Mike 7. Here reviewing with Jking, and for the new episode of Creature Commandos, episode 3. And yeah, this was a good one. Again, shout out to the homie. GI Robot. But yeah, what was your thoughts on this episode?
Man, so yeah, as soon as I just from the title alone, I was like, okay, we're gonna be in for a bit of a wild one. And there's so much to unpack, mainly just with GI Robot's backstory, because yes, we get to finally see his backstory in this episode. You know, why he's so hung up on killing Nazis, you know, him being in the wars, you know, and having no other purpose than to take on Nazis, and then trying to figure out where he goes in life after that, even splintering off into what may be the Metal Men. But yeah, we really get to see what makes GI Robot tick, and you know what happens when you have an AI like his that has one directive and you don't really give it a whole different directive. Like you say, like, oh, if we allow them to think too much, they're gonna be a little too much. But it's like, well, what happens if you only give them one thing to think about?
Yeah, no, because there was Easter eggs here, and James Gunn, he broke it down today on Rotten Tomatoes. So basically, like, yeah, you see the Metal Men, or at least the doctor that creates the Metal Men in DC Comics, and but also in his origin, you also get Sergeant Rock and
Sergeant Rock's crew. And for again, for those who know Sergeant Rock in the comics, you know why we're specifically bringing him up. But yeah,
which also got reported by Deadline that they're actually developing a film with Daniel Craig as well. But yeah, one thing that James Gunn was talking about, how he wanted to have this world being not just a, you know, just a continuity, you know, universe for films, but actual DC universe where like there's history, right? And with Sergeant Rock definitely has history in DC Comics, even in the early stages of DC Comics and stuff. And his team who fought in World War II. But I thought that was very interesting that he had that detail in there. I don't know where they play into the future, especially in terms of Metal Men, but at least it's just something, the avenue where they could go, or at least something saying, hey, here's history here. Now, this GI Robot also led to creation of other, you know, entities or creations in the DC universe, and I thought that was organic. But also, this was also beautiful to see, because again, it also show his the fact of him. The tragedy of it all is the fact that he just want allies. You have this whole tendency of wanting to kill Nazis and stuff, but what does that take you? You know, what did that take you in terms of, hey, you know, I just want to be with my friends and kill Nazis? It's like, what do you really want? I want to, hang with my gang, you know. And you think at the time he's saying that, at the time, which is like 30-something years after that, World War II, probably most of them are dead, you know. So it's like give or take, you know. So it's like, so as a war veteran as well, but how also time evolved to a point where, you know, he sees, you know, our modern day neo-Nazis and stuff, and then which led to him being incarcerated and stuff. But whether you believe it justice or not, there's still a crime that had to be paid for. And he just sitting there, just chilling in Bel Rev, you know. But what were just your thoughts on that, in just terms of like, okay, seeing how he got to this point now, from his early days in World War II to now, and now that he got locked up in Bel Rev because of him, you know, killing neo-Nazis of today.
Yeah, I say, when I have to probably echo what you're saying, in the sense of like just seeing where he was to where he ended up by the beginning of episode 1, or at least, like, you know, what would lead into the events of episode 1 of this series. You know, it's very interesting, because again, it's like made with a directive to kill Nazis, but in the end he ended up growing a bond with these guys, you know, Sergeant Rock and his crew. And it's like, oh, you lived past them, and it's like, well, and the Nazis are gone, maybe. It's like, well, so what do you do? What does life have for me without the friends that were fighting alongside him, taking down Nazis? That's even why he was asking Nina, is like, you know, do you want to be GI Robot's friend to take down Nazis? Like, specifically that, because it's not just the fact of killing people, it's because, and in a sense, you could probably tell he's lonely. Like, most of his friends are gone. And so it's like, you have to give him a purpose like that, or else he's not going to know what to do with himself, which thankfully he gets to in this episode, when we go back to present day against Cersei and the sons of Themyscira. But
yeah, because which, by the way, they just the term "sons of Themyscira" it's freaking insane.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Even then you see his mannerisms right here, just see him smile and stuff like that. Again, it's just still good to see, but it's same thing even with Dr. Phosphorus, which we'll get his origin later and stuff. But just seeing these people like they are monsters, but again, who are they underneath? Even if they're not human, they're still people, right? So what did that take you to? But as we kind of get into the story back into present day, also we see kind of his relationship or his friendship building with Nina, saying that that he still finds a friend in her, because she said, hey, I can be your friend in a previous episode and stuff. And so he instantly goes try to find her, and then find her, the bride, handcuffed and locked up and tied up and everything, and then Nina's in a tub, with barbed wire on top of the tub and stuff. But she's saying, I can't, get out without my fishbowl, whatever. But which, by the way, make that with bulletproof glass, whatever. I don't know who's your manufacturer.
Please.
I just
I get Amanda Waller doesn't care about any of them, but it's if you want the mission to succeed, give them some shit that will actually let them maybe survive or give them a better chance of surviving. I get you don't have the funding of the Suicide Squad anymore, but come on.
Yeah, and as we kind of get to this, is they as a team, as they're growing more in that friendship, we're still getting flashbacks to him present day, how he got to this point in Belvrev, but we still had to go get Cersei, which we found out was basically diversion for her to get the princess and stuff. But as they're getting over there, that's when we get more of the action of the team aspect of it, where they're basically trying to save the princess. And the princess, she just got one bullet round in the chamber and she's still getting those kills. But as we see them trying to defeat Cersei, we have Weasel attacking her and Lily scratching her up really bad. It's
and then Phosphorus burning her face.
Shish kebab, right? But and that was it was kind of it was graphic, but I was and then it responded to what the bride was telling Rick when he was kind of getting baffled, oh my god, I know these are monsters, but I didn't know that these are actually legit monsters.
She said, hey, look, you wanted monsters, you got monsters. You wanted that, this is what you get.
Yeah, right. It's this is what you get. These are monsters. And I guess it is what it is though, because it's I mean, you got what you asked for in terms of the team, even with the Suicide Squad as well. It's the same thing. But again, Rick Flag, he's just doing his job. At the same time, he's who are these people, right? And then with these, people in this team and everything, this is what we are. They weren't doing what we were born to do, what we were put in this position to do. Yeah, we're monsters. Let's cause havoc. But then we get the revelation at the end of the episode where it's Cersei, I'm trying to save the freaking world. I was what? Right? You're muted, by the way.
Yeah, she's you doomed everybody. And it's wait, what? Which, big cliffhanger for next episode.
Yeah, right. And I would just say, the next one will be a big one. But we find out Cersei, hey, maybe she has some ulterior motive to why she wants to kill the princess and stuff, trying to save the world. What? But I will tell you, next week episode's a big one, and they already give you the episode teaser, and they're showing more of the scenes, which is BS. But anyway,
I didn't see anything, but I've heard that they showed more. I'm just gonna not look.
But we'll break down of it. At least they didn't show one thing too. I mean, again, they show more, but you'll see the fruition of everything. But
gotcha.
But that concludes our review of episode 3. Again, I enjoyed this episode. I think this is it's going up from here, in terms of me, my enjoyment for the show. And I will tell you guys that we'll get better. I mean, again, this one is just an example of just episodes to come, in terms of their emotional weight. And yes, there's 7 of them, and each episode you kind of get their backstory, or the episodes dedicated to them, but you're learning more about the other. So it's definitely a consistent thing they're happening through this season. So, but we'll see you guys next week in episode 4 of Creature Commandos. All right, this is Jking and Jedi Mike 7. We'll see you guys in the next video.